welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about a stock called SOFI. This is it's now a bank. It used to be a company that lent money for different loans, etc., etc. And they recently got their bank charter about a month ago, and they're now a full-fledged bank, right? So, but getting that charter did not really help the company, the stock. It did revive a little bit, but now it's down again. I did make a video about it before they got the charter, and then I said the stock was at around $12 at that point, and I said the stock was going to, you keep it on the watch list. I did not recommend it to buy it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is something that I use, different indicators that I use to determine whether the price is right for a stock, and I put it out there for you to be able to get that information. If you make a better decision, and maybe you could see something that you might have not seen it before. So objective of the channel here is to get you guys that information that, to help you build your wealth in a fashion which is less risky and more profitable. So let's look at the stock and see what's going on with the stock, right? They already got the charter. They're a full-fledged bank now. And why would it still decline, right? Well, the very first factor, which is, basically everybody's affected by it, is your inflation. And we already know that federal is going to raise interest rates, which, of course, is going to become a little harder for people at that point to, start taking out loans, et cetera, because the rates are going to go really high. And this is a fairly new company. SoFi, it's a new company, and they're going to have work really hard to be able to get that, the customer, the clientele, and also be able to generate that revenue they could. And I think this is the only factor that's affecting the company. Otherwise, the company itself, it's a $6.5 billion company, and they do, on an average, they do 61 million shares. Like the shares that are traded on a daily basis, about 61 million. Right now, they traded about 23 million because we're just in the middle of the day right now. So it might be, number will be higher by the end of the day. If you look at the EPS, the earnings per share is -1, which means they are not profitable, which, it's understandable, right? Because right now they're new, and what they're anticipating, they didn't meet the Qs, the 10Q and the 10K, they didn't meet the numbers, and the EPS is -1. Now, with the ownership perspective, the institutional banks, like the big companies like Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, Chase Bank, all these big institutional firms, they have about 51% of the ownership of the company, which is really great. And they're buying more and selling less. For example, if you notice on my screen, the increased position was 93 million. They decreased their position by 24 million. Maybe some of the profits they taken out when the stock was declining. And also the new position, if you notice here, is 34 million, and the sold out position is 9 million. Now, they're buying more, selling less, but the stock's still dipping. Now, what happens is in these scenarios, right? When the stock, it's a good valued stock, but because of the environmental situations, the stock is declining. This should be an indicator for a person who has the capital, who has the money, to be able to see the technicals and see whether he believes in that company, right? And looking at the technicals that we're going to go through, you're going to be able to determine whether this is a good opportunity for you to get in or not, right? It could even go further, go up, however it is. We're going to go to the technicals. So let's see what the analysis were from different firms, right? This is 14 different analysts thought the average price is going to be around $17. The highest is going to get to $22, and the lowest is going to go to $12. Now that is blown out of the water, because they already are at $8.05 as we were speaking, right? I'm on a live chart right now. The market's still open, and I'm on a daily chart right now, and I have a trend line set up here, and it's making higher lows, which means the stock is in a downward trend. And I do have a resistance and support. When my initial video I made, it was around $12.88 or so, and now the stock is at $7.52, the lowest it got, and now it is sitting at the support. Now, what we determined from here is that, it is sitting at the support right now, right? It could go further down, or it could start reviving. And when they revive, I'm on a daily chart, right? So you would have to see a couple of good days for it to start going back up, like 8, 9, 10. And then you already know it's going to go to 13 right at that point. But if it started declining, it's a free fall from there, because it doesn't have any other support other than $7. This is the lowest it got in 52 weeks, okay? It has never been lowest as low as $7.74. I picked a few shares. I'm not gonna lie, I did pick a few shares at $8 just before I, when I was doing my analysis in the morning, and last night I picked a few shares when the market opened, and I picked it up at around $8 or so. Now, the reason I picked a few shares is because I want to average dollar cost in, right? Because if it goes further down, for instance, let's say if it goes $5, it's $3 difference. Maybe I'll pick up a few more shares, but I know for a fact that the company is not going bankrupt. Okay, the company is not going to get delisted. I know that for a fact because again, they got the charter. They are going to be a bank now. They're going to hire employees. It's going to be revenue generated. People are going to deposit their money there. They are lending money as well, so they're a full-fledged bank now, right? Like any other bank. So maybe a smaller bank, but a bank, right? So I do believe in the company, and I did pick up the share. So look at the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Right now, anything below 30, it means that the stock has been oversold. And right now, the RSI for the daily chart is in 20, 29, and 30 right now. And the MACD is a moving average conversion diversion. Both of them, if they're heading down, you can indicate the stock is still going to further drop, okay? Right now, because hit the support and these numbers are already like at the level where, it's almost oversold, I think it might not really drop below that 7.74 at this moment. I think it's going to start increasing a little bit. But again, if I was you, again, not a financial advice, something I did, I would pick up a few shares now. And if it start falling down, then you already know it's going to free fall to God knows what, maybe it goes to 3, 4, 5, whatever. But if it started rising, the next stop is going to be after this rise is going to be $13. And after that, if it does rise again, after 13, the next stop is going to be your $16. So look, again, this is a dip, right? And you got to understand, like, where there's a dip and the company is a strong company, right? And they have a good points to back it up, that this is not a problem with the company. This is more of a environmental problem, more of a catalyst problem, that, the news that is going around the world and the Federal is trying to tame the inflation. Every bank is going to take the hit, right? It could be a bank, could be PayPal, could be any other financial service company, right? That is lending money or whatever they're doing with the money. Where the rates are involved, if Fed is going to raise the rates, these companies will take a hit. However, when the inflation, normalizes, they'll start reviving. Eventually, it will probably get to the moon, right? How high would it get? I think probably $24. That's the highest it had. Maybe in your 3 years, 4 years time frame, it'll go higher than that. But I think for a starter, this stock right now, it looks cheap to me, and I did pick a few shares. Again, not a financial advice, but I think this stock, it's definitely worth at this price. I think it's worth a few shares to be part of the portfolio. And if it drops even further, then you can average dollars color in. But if it starts rising, you already know it's going to get to $13 in no time. So again, hope you like this video. I'll be making more videos on different stocks, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.